Africa, welcome to another exciting yet educative episode of the CGC Show, your trusted pathway to your dreams. We are coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities, Accra, Ghana, and I am your host, Adjoa Omie. The show is proudly brought to you by the Association of African Universities. Do well to follow our social media handles at AAU_TV on Twitter, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, and at AAU TV Official on Instagram. My guests are already seated, and I honestly can't wait to share with you what we'll be discussing. But before I introduce them, let's go for a quick break. When we come back, I'll introduce them and we'll delve into what we'll be discussing. Stay tuned.
Are you an institution or individual? Do you intend to organize a memorable event to be archived for future reference? Then look no further than AAU Studios, because it's your best bet. With our spacious studio and state-of-the-art media equipment such as 4K Panasonic video cameras, KinoFlow lights, assorted microphones, live streaming machines, and others, you are sure to get the best of production. Visit us at Trinity Avenue, East Legon, adjacent the National Accreditation Board, or contact the AAU studio via the following addresses: info@aau.org, AAUTV@aau.org, Ransford@aau.org. Alternatively, you can call us on 0244 185 998 or 0244 693 342.
Welcome back. If you just tuned in, you are watching the CGC Show on AAU TV. AAU TV is the voice of higher education in Africa. Many thanks to GTP for my beautiful cloth, and of course Majestic Outfit for turning it into a masterpiece, and AJ Makeover on Instagram for my beautiful makeup. I have here with me Miss Soteria Intimedu, who is a nutritionist and the owner of Weight Goes with Abba. And I also have here with me Juanita Adi, who is a food scientist and an upcoming food blogger. Ladies, welcome on the show.
Thank you.
Kindly introduce yourself. Soteria, tell us about yourself.
Okay, so Soteria Intimedu. I'm a nutritionist, as you've rightly said. I work with a food processing company in Ghana as the project or product director, nutrition, for one of their upcoming products. And also I'm the owner of Weight Goes with Abba, a wellness firm that has to do with nutrition, health, beauty, anything that consists of wellness. We try to tackle it at Weight Goes with Abba.
All right. Miss Juanita, tell us about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm a food scientist, and what I do is I work in a food processing company, and what I do is to produce food products that are safe for the customer. So basically that's it. And in my free time, as you said, I'm an upcoming food blogger. I try out new places, write reviews on my page. Yes.
Great. What inspired you to choose that career path?
Well, honestly, it wasn't planned. Some way, somehow, I ended up there, and yeah, I've liked this ever since.
Soteria.
Believe it or not, it's the same thing for me. I didn't walk into university to go or want to go do nutrition and food science, but it happened anyways, and I haven't regretted it either.
So what exactly do you do as a nutritionist? What exactly do you do?
Okay, so a nutritionist is somebody who's concerned with how food affects the body. So as a nutritionist, in my line of work, I'm concerned with how food products is affecting the body. So whether a child, whether a growing boy or growing girl, whether an old person, I'm interested in how the food you're eating is affecting your body. So that's what I do, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Miss Juanita.
Yes.
What exactly do you do?
As a food scientist?
Yes.
Okay, so basically, food scientists just produce food. We transform foods from different forms. So maybe from a raw product, we transform it into a different form of food, and we make sure it's safe and it's of good quality. So in every company, every product you see on the shelf has food scientists working in the background to make sure that before the customer picks it off the shelf, when the customer consumes it, there's no quality issue of any sort. So basically, that's it. I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. Can you tell me what exactly do you what are some of the areas of expertise in food science?
Um, okay, well, with food sciences, you think it's small, but it's quite broad. You know, there's food safety, food quality, quality assurance. So it's there are lots
It's a
of
very
layers
big
to it. It's a
field,
very big
yes.
field. So I'm in food quality, basically. So we have to make sure that everything that, let's say you are producing mangoes, right from when the mango sets foot into the factory, you have to make sure that they're not going bad. They will be able to stay on the shelf for a period of time and all that, basically.
All right. So Taya, do you know of any areas of expertise? If someone wants to be a nutritionist, what are some of the things that he or she has to do in terms of education or anything?
Okay, so if you want to be a nutritionist, in terms of education, I think it's very necessary to get a degree that certifies you as a nutritionist, because more or less you're dealing with the lives of people, how food is affecting somebody. You might not see it directly, but indirectly has a very big impact in the life of whoever you are dealing with. So you have to have the right knowledge and right expertise. So I think it's very necessary for the person to be certified. The person should have a degree or a diploma, anything that gives the person extra knowledge in nutrition and human anatomy and all of that. I think is very necessary.
All right. I think a lot of people, especially, okay, let me just say the nutritionists currently are getting recognition as compared to earlier days or years, where when you tell somebody you're a nutritionist, the person feels you're not really doing something huge. What do you think is making them get the recognition now?
Well, I think that for those that know, nutritionists and food scientists have always been very important. They've always been where they are, but a lot of people didn't know. I think right now what's drawing so much awareness to them is the fact that people are becoming more conscious of what they are eating.
Yeah.
That's where the recognition is
concern,
coming, because now everybody is checking. If the person is not checking their weight, the person is making sure that they are eating a good food product. You get somebody on the street that buys something and checks for the expiry date.
Yes.
So that goes to show you how far we've come in terms of food and nutrition. So that's how come it seems as if nutritionists and food scientists are now in the game, but they've always been in the game.
Okay. Food scientist, Juanita,
Yes.
tell us, what do you think is making food scientists get the recognition currently? Because almost every time, lately, people talk about food, especially the quality of food, and you said you are into quality assurance and all that. What do you think is making that?
In line with what Sotera said, there's a lot of, there's a lot of attention being placed on what you eat and how you eat what you eat and all. Almost every sickness that is very common now has some link with the food you eat. You know, so I think that's what's bringing the attention to food. Everybody comes to give a talk on some kind of sickness, and the major points they're hammering is healthy lifestyle, eat a balanced diet, eat healthy food, cut down your cholesterol intake, your salts. Yeah, so I think right now the food industry as a whole is getting a lot of attention. So that's basically why nutrition and food science is more ahead of these days.
And how relevant do you think nutritionists are?
Well, not to brag or anything, but I feel like without nutritionists and food scientists, we'll all go downhill. What you eat, you are what you eat.
Yes.
I can't simplify it any further. You are what you eat, and nutritionists and food scientists are there to ensure that you are eating the best. So if you are what you eat and there are no nutritionists and food scientists in the game,
people will be eating all sorts
people
of
will
things.
be eating all sorts of things. People would be, it's as simple as that. Nutritionists and food scientists are very, very are very, very relevant. And there are so many diseases, as Juanita said previously, there are so many diseases that are linked to what we eat,
How we eat
when we eat it, and all of that. So with nutritionists and food scientists in the game, it makes everything easier, it makes everything more simple. There's somebody to guide you, there's somebody to actually ensure that things are being done properly. Juanita said previously that food science is a very big field. There's quality, there's
Health,
processing, there's
safety.
safety. So there are all these people there to make sure that the food that you are eating, the water that you are drinking, everything is meeting certain standards and you are not suffering from it. There's a nutritionist there to tell you that, okay, if you're suffering from this, eat this. Or you don't even need to wait and suffer from something. You can eat more of greens to get iron. You can eat more of something to get something. You can combine something and something to get something. So I feel like it's very important to have nutritionists and food scientists in the game.
Okay. Juanita, I would want you to tell me what really is the link between food scientists and nutritionists, because I know a lot of food scientists move with nutritionists and even dietitians. What really is the link between you two?
Okay, so with nutrition, we are more, as she said, it's more of how the food affects the human being. So a nutritionist will be concerned with, okay, a child has come and the child is vitamin A deficient.
What do I give to
Yes,
the
what
child?
food can I give to the child? And in what amounts would that be okay to relieve the child of this deficiency? So basically, the nutritionist is more focused on how the food affects the health of the individual. And the food scientist thinks of how we can transform foods, to bring more variety into the diet, how we can make foods readily available.
Not to cut what Juanita is saying, but I just got an example. Linking what we just said, Juanita said that a child is vitamin A deficient, and let's say the child comes to my firm, and I know that, okay, the child is vitamin A deficient, and I want the child to eat carrots, but maybe the child is 2 years old. So I go to Juanita.
Food scientists will transform the
Juanita
carrots.
will now transform the carrot from a hard form to a pureed form without losing the nutrients.
Fortifies with added nutrients if necessary, basically.
And getting it. So we don't go without each other.
Yes. We work hand in hand.
Work hand in hand.
I get to know.
That's an example.
That's quite interesting.
Yes.
Tell us, you are the owner of Weight Goes with Abba. What exactly does your firm do?
Okay, so Weight Goes with Abba is a wellness firm. We've been operating commercially, if that's right, for about a year. But before that, we were there. What inspired me to start Weight Goes with Abba is when anybody asks me what course I read in the university and I say nutrition and food science, I used to get just 2 comments. A, you cook for me, or I want to lose weight. Those were the only 2 things I used to get. And obviously, I wasn't about to cook for anybody, but the second part was something that I felt was in line with what I'd studied. So I researched on it, I read more on it, I worked more. It doesn't end with just having a nutrition degree. You have to do a lot of research and a lot of extra work and a lot of trying and failing and bouncing back. So I used about a year and a half to do diet plans for people where I didn't take anything. It works for somebody, it doesn't work for somebody. So you go back to the drawing board and you find out why it worked for A and it didn't work for A. What is it that you were missing? What is it that you can improve on? So one of the main things that we do at Weight Goes with Abba is nutrition in terms of weight gain and weight loss. People are very particular about how they look. Maybe they've gained a few extra kilos here and there. So that's our primary focus at Weight Goes with Abba. But apart from that, we do other wellness related activities, like we do consultations, we do talks for organizations, for groups, for individuals.
Wow.
We give out free wellness tips on our social media platforms. We try to include everything that has to do with wellness, because even though I'm a nutritionist, it doesn't just stop at nutrition. There are so many other things involved. So if you have good nutrition and you don't have sound sleep, what's the point? So we try to merge everything together to create a holistic wellness firm.
Okay. Juanita, you are also a food blogger, an upcoming food blogger.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Okay, well, it's just a hobby, as I said. I just go out, try new places and write my reviews. And Satara and I are actually working on some content,
Great.
like healthy places to eat out at. And yeah, as I said, it's upcoming, so expect more stuff soon. Yeah.
Great. Let's pause here and go for a quick break. When we come back, we will delve more into some of the benefits and then the challenges that nutritionists and food scientists are facing in the world currently. We've been discussing food science and nutrition as a career. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
4 years ago, like most young people, I was clueless as to what I wanted to do and which institution would help me realize a great career. What better place to pursue this dream than Blue Crest College? With state-of-the-art lecture halls and experienced lecturers, as well as equipped computer labs, Blue Crest is indeed the right starting point. With certificate, diploma and degree programs in information technology, business administration, journalism, oil and gas, Blue Crest is the one-stop institute for everyone who is looking to have a great career. Enroll now. Visit www.bluecrest.edu.gh or call any of the numbers on the screen. Blue Crest College. Education for life.
Welcome back. If you just tuned in, you are watching the CGC Show on AAU TV. And my guest here and I have been discussing nutrition and food science as a career path. If you are in the university or you are at home and you are thinking of reading nutrition or you want to branch into that field, I think you should tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend to tune in and watch us. We are going to delve into some of the benefits and challenges they are facing in their field of work currently. So I'm going to begin with you, Soteria. What are some of the challenges you've come across since you started working as a nutritionist?
People think nutritionists are magicians, and when I say that, sometimes you get people, I'm going back to a child has vitamin A.
Yeah.
We'll use that example a lot. So vitamin A deficiency. So maybe the mother of the child brings the child to your firm or whatever, and as a nutritionist, you use all your indicators to see that, okay, this child is suffering from maybe vitamin A deficiency, and you say, maybe go back and have this food, this food, this food. The mother goes back and that's just part of it and expects a miracle, but it doesn't work like that. It's a biological process, so it's going to take some time, and a lot of time people fail to recognize that. So a nutritionist tells you to do A, or a nutritionist tells you to do B, or change this and change that, and you do it for just a short period of time and you feel like the person lied to you. I think that's one of the biggest challenges I face with my clients and in my day-to-day work. And another challenge that I would say I face or I've come across a lot as a nutritionist is people, I'm trying to get the right word to use. People don't really understand what you are supposed to do for them. So they sort of spell out your responsibilities for you. And when you come out and you tell them, well, I'm a nutritionist, but I can't do this or I can't do this. I think for this, you should see a pharmacist, or for this, you should see this person, or for this, you should see this person. Because in the health sector, it's interconnected. Everything doesn't rest on the shoulder of one person. There are lots of times that you come to me and I'll be very honest with you. I'll tell you, this is not my field. You feel it's my field, but it's not my field.
Oh, okay.
So go to maybe this person, go to this person, go to this person. And people feel like you're not doing your job well because you couldn't help them. But you're actually doing the right thing by referring them to the right person to see. So these are the two things that I would say that as a nutritionist, using Way goes with ABBA as my case study here, I've come across a lot.
Okay. Before I come to you, Juanita, Soteria, please, you know, sometimes someone would come to you and the person, he or she would tell you, I want to lose weight. But then you see the picture, get to see the person, and the person is already thin or slim, and the person still wants to lose weight. What do you do in that situation?
Okay, so a lot of my clients, I call my clients go-getters. A lot of my clients know I like the money. That's the truth. That's why I'm doing the plan. But I won't lie to you. If your BMI is healthy and you want to lose weight for it to tip into underweight, so I do nutritional counseling. That's the very first thing I do before I do your diet plan for you. So I tell you that based off your BMI, there's no need for you to lose weight, but you could rather go on a plan that could guide your eating habits. So I have a lot of clients that initially come that they want to lose weight, but upon counseling and advice, they realize that they don't actually want to lose weight. They just want to feel good, and it has something to do with your mind. Maybe you are eating junk food all the time, so you feel like you are gaining weight, but your BMI shows that you are healthy. So what do? We change your food from junk food to maybe more home-cooked meals, more greens. So I don't just jump at Wagos with Abba. We don't just start doing something for you. You have to go through a process of counseling and advice, and based on that, we will be able to determine the right plan for you. Sometimes I get people who are obese, like obese class 3.
Wow.
And I'm very honest with people like that. I tell you the truth. I have a few doctors I can recommend you to, because when it gets there, now it becomes a very serious health problem.
Okay.
Apart from you losing weight, there are so many things going on with your organs, so you actually have to see a health professional higher than me. So when it comes to that, I can recommend you to a doctor, or I have ways around it. So it's not every case that I take, and it's not everything that you want that I do for you, because at the end of the day, I cannot do something that would affect your health. Then I'm going against everything that the wellness firm stands for.
Right. Yeah. Juanita, tell us some of the challenges you've come across since you started working as a food scientist.
Okay. I won't really call this a challenge, but one thing I've realized is people don't have a lot of information, like a lot of knowledge about our field. It's very bad. I mean, there are some fields that you mention, I do this, and everybody just automatically knows what your job entails.
Exactly.
But I actually have to sit somebody down and explain to the person what my job entails. So it's, you know, when you think food sciences have come a long way, then you just meet someone with a very wrong perception, bad mindset, and it just makes you feel like, so that's it. I just wish people could get more informed about, you know, nutrition and food science and what it entails. Yes.
Great. Have you ever come across, say, like you said, if a child is vitamin A deficient, and then you would have to give the person carrots or whatever, and you would have to turn process the food into a certain form. Have you ever encountered any patient or maybe a mom that would tell you that I don't want my child to have it this way, but you want the child to have it this way?
Okay, so with what you're talking about, that's when...
I don't know if you got me, but...
I get it.
Okay.
That's when where I work, my industry is more of a large-scale setting. So I think
don't do directly
with the clients. We don't deal directly with clients, but for somebody that operates in a more, you know, small-scale industry, tailor-made to a specific customer base, that's where that comes in.
Oh, okay.
But mostly, you know, dealing with clients is some way.
Yeah.
But I think you just have to make the customer know that you know what you're doing, and just have some research to back every claim that you're making. That's what I think.
Let's come to the major thing. How do you make money? Soteria, how do you make money?
I like how you said Soteria. How do you make money? Could you explain? I really want to understand what you mean by
you
how
know,
to make
there are these professions that when you delve into them, people automatically feels that, okay, this course or this program is actually marketable. But nutrition and food science is not really something that people know about. So I want you to tell me how you make money. Is it really marketable for you and all of that?
Okay, so earlier on, Juanita and I were discussing the SDGs, and we're talking about SDG 2, zero hunger. And there's a whole craze around zero hunger. There's a whole market around SDG 2. And when you hear zero hunger, automatically what comes into your mind is hunger, food, zero. So we'll need some nutritionists in the game, we'll need some food scientists in the game, we'll need some farmers in the game. Anybody that has to do with food is very crucial in the zero hunger agenda.
Okay.
So if you're a nutritionist or you're a food scientist and you are just sitting at home, I don't know why you're sitting at home, because there's a whole craze, one way or the other. You are needed. Maybe people don't even realize they need you till you make yourself known that you are needed. And with the food science parts of what we're discussing today, food science on its own is a very practical course. You learn so many, you learn so many things, how to make yogurt, how to make gari. I'm sure somebody's like, gari. But you will not believe somebody can make gari, and because you're a food scientist, you know your packaging, how to package it, how to set yours apart. Can you fortify it? Can you make yours different? So when you're done with nutrition and food science, or when you're entering nutrition and food science as a profession, you don't even have to wait for somebody to come and call you to come work for them or anything like that. The course on its own is giving you a lot of skills, a lot of practical things that you don't even need great equipment for. And because you're a food scientist, you know the laws, you know what to go through to get your product certified. You don't need to stress, you don't need to call somebody, and you can do some small consultancies on the side. People will call you, hey, you're a nutrition and food scientist, I want to get my product certified, how do I do it? You just don't do it for free. You take something small, because it's your intellectual property. You're giving somebody something you went to learn. So you find a way to get money on little things that maybe you wouldn't think is money, but you get something small here, you get something, and you don't sleep on your ideas. Because nutrition and food science, throughout your course or throughout learning, you realize that maybe you'll be sitting in a class, a food processing class, then you get an idea. Or you go for community health, then you get an idea. The course is structured in such a way that it gives you a lot of ideas. So if you don't sleep on them, in your own way, I think you should be able to make something, not maybe billions of dollars or something, but you should be able to make something to cushion yourself from time to time.
Definitely. Juanita, what would you tell somebody who is considering food science as a career path? What would you tell the person?
Well, I'll tell the person that the opportunities are limitless, like she said. You can develop your own products, and you know there are lots of people developing things on the market. You can go to a supermarket and there are so many shatos, so many yogurt, so many gari, but what actually sets the food scientists apart is you know what kind of materials to use, you know what package, you know, it's all part of the course structure. So don't just sit down waiting for a job. You can just start something on your own, you know. You might think it's silly, you know, but a lot of these brands that we know today, it was just something in a kitchen, like this Judy food, for example, it's just plantain chips, but I mean, look how far they've gone.
Yeah, look at their packaging.
Yes,
Coca-Cola.
so I think, yes, so don't think that you are too a nobody.
Big.
Or let me say you are a nobody. You don't think you're a nobody. You can't accomplish anything.
Yes.
I think the opportunities are limitless in food science. So I'll just tell whoever is watching this that you can do it. That idea that you've put at the back of your mind, just work on it, and who knows who you'll be.
Yeah, and I also feel like sometimes people feel like they are too big to start from somewhere.
Okay.
I have a whole degree. Why should I go and work in an organization and take maybe 500 cedis a month?
Yeah.
You should always be willing to start from somewhere, because if you never start from somewhere, you will not rise. And it's not just with nutrition and food science, it's with any degree at all. Sometimes if you quantify the number of sleepless nights you had, the number of times you almost missed an IA, the number of times that you had to forfeit so many things and do group study, and you get an offer, and you compare it to the stress you've gone through, you feel like the offer is beneath you.
Yeah.
But if you don't start from somewhere, you would never rise. So that's, apart from nutrition and food science, that's in general.
Thank you guys so much for making time to come on the show to educate us and of course enlighten us on what nutrition and food science has been. It's been very interactive, and I believe you at home too, you've picked a thing or two, and definitely you would consider choosing nutrition or food science as a career path. If you have any questions pertaining to what we discussed today, you can leave them on our social media handles at AAU_TV on Twitter, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, and at AAU1TV Official on Instagram. You can also send us a WhatsApp message on +233 501 238468, and you will have them answered. Many thanks to GTP for my beautiful clothes, and of course Majestic Outfits. You should check them out on Instagram for my beautiful dress, my beautiful blouse, and of course AJ Makeover GH on Instagram for my makeup. And the show is proudly brought to you by the Association of African Universities. Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of the program. My name is Adjoa Omie.